what's a girl to do with all these mushrooms? Well, of course, make as many different dishes as possible. I mean, this is a good life if you think about it. Years ago, when I was growing up, the only thing you could find were button mushrooms, little white button mushrooms, or cans of mushrooms in the grocery store. But today we are so fortunate because there's such a plethora of different exotic mushrooms that we can cook with. So these are all left over from a fundraiser that I did, and I got to use them up. So today I thought I would do a show with these, and I'm going to make 3 dishes with them. I'm going to turn these into bacon, or sort of a smoky mushroom strip thing. I'm going to make little mini scallops out of them, and I'm going to make ceviche. And then there's so many other uses. I'll probably start talking about them while I'm cooking, but let's get started with those 3. You can find this recipe in my Vegan Meat Cookbook. They have the perfect texture, they're succulent, they have that umami, and that's the wonderful thing about mushrooms, is they have that, I guess it's the 5th sense, umami, which is that depth of flavor that you get in foods, and mushrooms are full of umami, which just makes it just taste so much more succulent. Okay, so we're gonna slice these up. These are relatively small king trumpet mushrooms. Oftentimes you'll find much, much larger ones, so you can get bigger strips of smoky mushroom or vegan bacon, but the taste will be the same. So we're going to just slice these up as thinly as you can. Okay, I'm going to make a little marinade for these first. I've got some lovely olive oil from down the street. This lady has this amazing olive garden? I don't know, what is it called? Olive grove. Okay, I'm going to add some nutritional yeast to this. A couple of tablespoons, and then a couple of tablespoons of either soy sauce, tamari, or liquid aminos. Shake that up. Stir it with a fork as well. And I'm going to toss this. Now, there's 2 ways to make this bacon. One way is to use a stovetop smoker, and that's what I'm going to do. If you don't have a stovetop smoker, you can add smoked paprika or liquid smoke, and you can bake it in the oven. So we'll do it 2 ways so you can see how they turn out. Okay, you want to let this sit for about 20 minutes to soften up a little bit, soak up some of that lovely flavor, and just kind of ooze a little bit of that mushroom juice. Okay, so I said I'm going to do this 2 ways. These are going to be baked in the oven instead of in a smoker. So I'm going to add olive oil again. I'm going to add some liquid smoke. You can mix it ahead of time, or you can just squirt it in there. Either way. You didn't see that. You're going to add some nutritional yeast again. And this time, because we're putting it in the oven and not a smoker, you're going to add some smoked paprika. And that's going to give it a little bit of color as well too. Now if you want to add liquid smoke instead, you can do that. I prefer the smoked paprika. And we'll toss that, and we're going to let that sit for about 20 minutes to soften up before we bake it in the oven. While my mushroom slices are soaking to make the bacon, or the smoky mushroom slices, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to make some king trumpet mushroom scallops. And these are really quick and easy and absolutely delicious. Now, when I make this dish, I typically like to find king trumpet mushrooms that are a little bigger. These are a little small, kind of like, mini scallops. But I think they're still going to taste great. They're just going to be smaller in diameter than I would typically want. So what you want to do is just slice these up. So they're about, a half an inch or so in width. This is not a need to do. This is, if you want to do it, you can take the time to do this. And you're going to either make little hatch marks like this. You can do little lines on the side. Either way, just puncturing the mushroom a little bit creates more of an opportunity for the seasonings, the flavorings to soak in. And of course the tops don't look like scallops, but who cares? It's really all about the flavor and not wasting. Or you can save these tops for the ceviche. So you know what? We're gonna be making ceviche. I'm gonna set these aside. You know, cooking is all about figuring things out as you go, because it's not an exact science. It's really kind of a perfect balance of art and science. Sometimes it comes out the way I want, and other times it does not. Okay, I'm going to cook the scallops in a combination of olive oil and vegan butter. Now, the reason I'm adding both is that oil by itself will not allow the mushrooms to brown as much as I want. I want a little bit of that golden brownness. That's just wonderful. So we're going to melt the butter. We're going to get this nice and hot, and then we're going to add the scallops. Oh, and I think I'll put in a minced garlic as well. Okay, let's add the mushrooms. Okay, I want them to cook flat so that they brown on both sides. So I'm going to make sure they're turned on their tops or bottoms and not on their sides. And we're going to let that cook until they're beautifully browned, and then we'll flip them over. While the mushrooms are cooking, I'm going to get the smoker set up. So this is just a handy dandy, easy, inexpensive stovetop smoker that I bought on Amazon. I've had it for about 15 years. I think it was about $50. They're so easy to use, and they deliver that authentic smoked flavor, whether you're smoking tofu or vegetables or whatever. So they usually come with a little bit, some wood chips like this, and you just put a little bit of wood down there. Sprinkle some water on the chips. You put your pan there. I'm just going to coat the pan with a little bit of oil. Okay, now I'm going to add my mushrooms. Now these are not smoky. Remember what we seasoned this with was some soy sauce, nutritional yeast, a little bit of olive oil, and all that smoky goodness and all that smoke flavor is going to come from the actual smoking itself. Now we're going to do one more batch where we're going to put them in the oven, so you'll see that as well too. Turn the fan on too. All right, so you got to cover it to contain all the smoke. Woo! It is getting smoky. Usually I cover this before I do this. Because the smoker is old, it got bent out of shape, I have to put a pot on it. I have to put something heavy on it to prevent the crack from releasing the smoke. So anyway, I'm going to turn the heat down. I have it on right. And we're going to let that smoke for about 30 minutes or so, and they're going to be absolutely delicious and succulent. And then you can keep that in your fridge and saute it in a pan anytime you want some smoky mushroom slices or vegan bacon. Let's see how these are doing. We're going to turn these over. Oh, not quite. I'm always wanting to rush things, just like all of us, because we want to sit down and eat, right? But we have to be patient. We have to wait until these are beautifully brown. Oh, look at these. Now, they're beginning to look better. Let's flip these over. You want them to look this lovely brown without looking too dry. You want to keep that moisture in there. So don't cook these to a crisp, just make sure they're lightly brown and still juicy looking. You want to cook them till they're nice and brown on both sides, and then we're going to season them and make them taste kind of fishy. We're so grateful because there are all these vegan fish sauces in the marketplace today, but my favorite is this one called 24 Vegan. It's actually fermented, so it has that sort of fishy quality that and that umami and the saltiness that is absolutely perfect. So you're going to take about a tablespoon of this. It's pretty salty. We're going to dilute it with a little bit of water, and that is going to be absorbed by the scallops and make them just so juicy and succulent. So I think they're ready to add the fish sauce and the water. We'll let that cook for another minute, and then these scallops are ready to devour. Oh my God, look at that. Don't they look delicious? You can put a little bit of parsley on top if you like. Anybody want to taste?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, I've got takers.
Here, we can be fancy. Nathan? It's gonna be hot.
Mmm.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Mmm. Mmm. Flavorful.
And what?
Okay, I got my scallops made, and now I'm going to get these babies in the oven. These are the King Trumpet mushroom bacon that we put smoked paprika in. Let me grab a sheet pan. I'm going to lay these out on the sheet pan, and then we're going to put these in the oven at about 400 degrees and bake them for 20-30 minutes until they're a little browned on the edges. And the smoke for these is coming from the smoked paprika. You can also use liquid smoke, as I mentioned before. All right, let's get these in the oven. All right, we're ready to make ceviche. My King Trumpet mushroom bacon are still cooking in the oven and in the smoker, and in the meantime, we've made scallops, and now we're gonna make ceviche. So I have all the tops left from the mushrooms, and I'm gonna just put them all in this bowl here. It's a simple, super simple dish. No cooking required. It's just the lime juice that cooks the mushrooms and the other vegetables. It does take a couple of hours for the lime juice to penetrate the mushrooms and render them in a cooked mode. Okay, I'm just dicing up some red bell pepper, gold bell pepper, whatever you like. Now, if you like your ceviche a little spicy, you can add something spicy. All right, we're gonna add some avocado to this as well. We're gonna add some green onion. This is spring onion. You can add red onion if you like. You don't need very much, just a little, maybe a quarter cup, something like that. All right, I'm gonna add some whole cumin seeds to this. And now I'm gonna add some lime juice. So I'm rolling it just to kind of break up the cells and make them easier to juice. And the lime juice, just like with traditional fish ceviche, will cook the mushrooms in a couple of hours. So we do have to set this aside and then come back to it later. This is a great make-ahead dish. Now here's the thing. I'm making all this food. I don't have a big family anymore. It's just Cammy and me. And, but I don't know how to cook for just a couple of us, because to me, food isn't just about, make a sandwich for yourself and then go eat it in front of is it called the boob tube? Whatever it's called. Really, food it has to be about sharing. It has to be about bringing people around the table to create community, to share conversation. And we were just talking about that over lunch today while we were filming, about how that just is not something that happens very much anymore, and we need to intentionally start recreating that, because we're all feeling a little lonely. We're all feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm finding myself eating by myself, and studies actually show that the more you share food, the more you eat with others, you're healthier, you live longer because you're happier. I mean, it's an event. Sharing food with people is an event in and of itself. And so we really need to move more in that direction. So I've got my lime juice, just squirted myself about a half a cup or so. Get a little bit of sea salt going on in there. I'm just going to mix it all together. And what's going to happen after an hour or two is that this is going to shrink as the mushrooms release their juices, soften up, and change in texture. At that point, we're going to add some avocado and some cilantro and some fresh mint. Oh, I forgot something. I always forget something. You're going to get used to that. Okay, for that sort of fishy vibe, we're going to add some nori. So I've got some nori here. It's not nori, it's nori. But anyway, you know, when you're speaking English, you say nori, but it's actually nori. I had this chef one time, American chef, who I said, you know, do you have any shiitake? He goes, it's shiitakes. And it's shiitake. But anyway, that's, you adapt the pronunciation of the culture that you live in, even if you are a native speaker of that word that has been used. So the nori is going to give it a little bit of seafood flavor. You can omit it if you like. You can also use the vegan fish sauce that I talked about if you want. You can also use shredded nori that comes like this. So you don't even have to tear it. There you go. So there's so many options. There's so many ways to prepare this. Look at that. It adds this lovely, the oven is buzzing, which means my bacon might be ready. We're going to set this aside for about an hour or two, and then we're going to come back and finish it off. Ta-da! My smoky king trumpet mushroom bacon. They're chewy, they're yummy. And let's go check these out. Take off my heavy pot. I can smell this smoke. They might need to go a little longer, but let's take a look. Oh yeah, these are looking delish. I think they might need to go a little longer, but I'm gonna just take a sneak taste. Not a sneak peek, but a sneak taste. Oh yeah, that smoke is hitting me at the back end, but we're still gonna let it go a little longer. Okay, we're gonna take a look at these babies and see if they're ready. Oh my God, look at how succulent they look. Oh my God, don't they look delicious? I can smell the smoke. Can you smell the smoke, Annie?
Uh-huh, for sure.
Good. Oh. Wow. That depth of flavor, that smokiness. Oh, it's incredible. Okay, compared to this, we're gonna go back to the ceviche, which is fresh and lively and full of those wonderful summery flavors. Mushrooms have shrunk a little bit. They're soft now. You can chew them. We're gonna finish this off by adding some avocado. I'll dice this up and throw it in there. And luckily, I've got a few people over, my daughter and her friends, so they can eat this up. I think I have a bag of tortilla chips lying around somewhere too. Okay, now I've got some chopped cilantro. And to give it a little bit of freshness, well, it's already pretty fresh tasting, but even more freshness, a surprise of a little bit of fresh mint. I hear voices. I've got some ceviche going on here.
Yum.
Yeah, ceviche.
We'll have to do.
They'll have to do. Okay, we got a bag of crumbs. You want to try it? Don't just give the crumbs to me.
Try it.
All right, and look over here. Look what I've got over here. I've got smoked king trumpet mushroom bacon.
Ooh.
Okay, these are smoky and delicious and succulent. Give them a try. Get your own.
Rich, kind of fatty. Very different from the fishy one before.
I like the texture of this.
Yeah, isn't that good? All right.
Very good.
So, there we have it. Today we made 3 different dishes. I used up almost all those oyster king trumpet mushrooms that I had. made ceviche, we made smoked king trumpet mushroom bacon, and scallops. So this is what the good life is all about. And of course, whether you just have some crumbs to have your ceviche with, or some really freshly made chips that you can make out of tortilla. Oh, you know what? I have tortillas. I'll make tortilla chips later. You can just throw them in the oven, super easy. So there's so many quick and easy ways to make a meal out of fresh ingredients. This is the vegan good life. Thanks for watching.